The Magic of Compound Recruiting, The Secrets of Building a Super Hierarchy by Hubert Humphrey. Chapter 7, The Magic of Compound Recruiting, The Magic of Multiples, Formula for Failure, The Magic of Geometric Progression, The Mystery of the Multiples, The Popcorn Effect, and A Builder's Path to the Top. The Magic of Multiples. This book is named after the chapter because I think it's one of the most important, intriguing concepts found in marketing. Compound recruiting is based on the mathematical principle of multiples. Let's assume for the moment that to get a hierarchy started, you must recruit and train at least two people. If each of these two people recruits two, then you have four, right? The chart below is a multiplication. Each recruit two. Level one, 2 by 2 is 4, by another 2 is 8, by 2 is 16, by 2 is 32, by the time you get to level 4. This chart below is a multiplication table showing how many recruits you could have at each level. If every new person recruited and trained two people new, if you can do even an elementary level of math, this is probably nothing that will surprise you. Now, let's work on the multiples again. Assuming that you will start out by recruiting and training three people, and each of these people will then recruit three people. As you can see in the chart, by the fourth level, there is a substantial difference in the number of people. What is interesting, however, is that the real difference was only one person at every level. That's the magic of compound recruiting. Some people have a hard time seeing themselves recruiting hundreds of people, but nearly everyone can see themselves recruiting two or three. What I'm showing people this magic, I like to get their attention by asking them the difference between 2 and 3. Of course, they always reply 1, and I say no, it's really 244. Then I show them what I'm talking about by working the two charts through 4 levels. Formula for failure. Now, what happens if you don't recruit anyone? Will you be able to build any kind of an organization? Look at the following chart. If you recruit 0 and each one of them recruit 0, what have you got? 0. What happens if you keep duplicating 0 4 levels? You will still get 0. Now, this may sound like a joke, but fortunately, it's a very real picture of what most people do. What if you recruit and train one person? In the next chapter, we talk about the power of one as a means of building a sizable team. But there's a big difference in recruiting one person personally than recruiting several people personally. The power of one can help you get started, it can help you get a team going, but it can't help you build a super hierarchy. Still, some people recruit one person and forever work deep as they train their new recruit. What happens? Looking at the next chart, we see that 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times that 1 is still 1. You take it 4 levels, and what do you have? You still have 1. Now, you may say, but it's not the same thing. I say, in the real world, that it is the same thing. Why? If you recruit just one person and he recruits one person and the next guy recruits one person, then you're not likely to build anything. It's only natural that some people are not going to work out. Either they don't want to bad enough or it's not the right time or whatever. You have to remember that unless you are able to find and develop a fireball leader, the commitment of each level gets a little weaker. As a single person, you can only work with a limited number of people at once. I see a lot of people who think since they're working with one good recruit, they've got something going. They're kidding themselves. If you're going to make this thing go, you've got to recruit and train at least two. The magic of geometric progression. In earlier chapters, I've mentioned that building wide is building by addition. If you hire three people personally, your hierarchy will be a total of four people, yourself plus three. If you build deep, you are building by multiplication. If you hire new people and you work with those two people to each build two, you now have four people down line. If they each build two, then you have eight. You archive geometric progression when you find a leader downline who can do exactly what you are doing. In other words, you're looking for someone with the interest and the motivation to go out on his own and hire and train and build an organization. The chart on the next page shows how, through geometric progression, you can build a large team in a relatively short period of time. Let's say that initially you're going to go out and get three new recruits. Your priority is to help each of those people build three new people. Soon, you should have 12 people on your team. You and your team must now work with those 12 new people to get their three new people each. You are following the same pattern, working through your leaders to see that each person recruits three new people. If you follow this principle, soon your recruiting numbers will mushroom because of the magic of geometric progression. Obviously, the only way this whole configuration can occur is if you have identified and duplicated leaders at each level. You can't do it all yourself. Hopefully, approximately half of those you recruit will be serious people who will emerge to assume leadership positions to help your hierarchy grow. This is not some pie in the sky formula. This phenomenon has literally happened to me. When I moved my family out of Denver, Colorado, I recruited and trained 12 people in my first 30 days. Five of those people became RVIs. Three of those RVIs became what I call strong RVPs. By the end of 6 months, my team and I had more than 1,000 people recruited and trained. It is possible to build a tremendous hierarchy even in 6 months. You simply have to catch the vision of geometric progression. The mystery of multiples. I have always believed in showing people the magic of multiples very early as you are trying to recruit them. I'm not sure why, but people are always intrigued by the compounding effect. I even find that professionals and people with the most education are the ones who are the most excited by a recruiting presentation that shows the power of big numbers. Too many people make the mistake of leaving out the multiples when they are trying to recruit people. Some people never even hint at it, or if they do, it's the last few minutes of the recruiting presentation. You can't sell the big picture of the marketing opportunity if you never talk about the power of large numbers. Remember, one of your goals in recruiting, you're looking for people who want to make extra income. Someone with an entrepreneurial spirit is going to be very interested in our management opportunity. The popcorn effect. Multiples are exciting. They stretch your vision, but you must remember that it takes time for the compounding laws to take effect. Art Williams says you must have to expect the first 18 months to be a disaster. He says that the first 1 to 3 years after you begin your big building effort are nothing but a game of survival. Think of it like popping popcorn. You put some kernels and oil into a pot, then you put it over a hot stove and sit and wait for something to happen. I don't know about you, but every time I've ever popped corn in my life, I've always gotten impatient and wondered if something was going wrong. And I've lifted the lid to look inside. Usually, all the kernels will be sizzling in the oil, and one of them will pop and hit me right in the face. Then, at first, slowly, they will begin to pop. As you shake the pot a little more, they pop a little faster. After a few more minutes, they're popping like mad, and you are wondering if the pot can hold all the kernels you have used. The multiples in any business work the same way. Don't get discouraged if your base shop drags the first few months. Keep building, knowing that if you continue to work, the multiples will begin to work their magic. Builder's path to the top. In chapter 2, a builder's mindset is discussed. I discussed the importance of building a team for each new person. I said that you should adopt a mindset of get them in and get them some recruits. And in doing so, you will get them trained. You can use this mindset and the concept of multiples to help you earn promotions to your new commission levels. For example, if you want to get to RVP, whatever the current guidelines for earning a RVP promotion, you should always focus on recruiting, training, and building a team, and building your recruits teams. Depending on the current guidelines, I map out a configuration of how you need to hire to get to a certain promotion level. For example, if the guidelines require you to hire 3 people who are each field trained on 3 sales, the tendency is to do just that. Field train each person on 3 sales. I think another way. I suggest that instead of just trying to get them 3 field training sales, you should try to get them 3 new recruits. Then you will actually accomplish both things. The fastest way I know for a person to get trained is to go with his or her RVP and watch the RVP show the asset management and marketing opportunity presentation to 3 people. They may or may not buy. More than likely, they will if they need it. This way, not only do you make training sales, but you have the beginnings of a team. And the fastest way to get those 3 recruits trained on the requirement number of sales is to build 3 recruits. Now you're aiming at recruits and hitting sales. You've got production going, but your number one goal is to rapidly build a team. I see too many people who get out there and sell themselves into a promotion. There's nothing wrong with that, but they have to realize that every morning they wake up, they're still going to be unemployed. They're totally alone in earning income. The only way to maximize the management opportunity is through building your company. Unless you do, you're just a salesman, constantly worrying about your next paycheck. Think of everyone as a potential member of your team. The chances are you will earn promotions and build a team in the process. Building principle. If you want a business that lasts, build with quality. Never let your desire for rapid growth take the place of your common sense. If a leader gets lazy about recruiting, he will find himself with nothing more than a bunch of warm bodies and a million problems. Recruit people who have a burning desire to win. This is the end of chapter 7. This book will unfold the secrets of building a super hierarchy.